Hi, today I'm going to talk about how to get your teenage son or daughter to sleep. Hi, my name is Dr. Dev and this is my sleep assistant Barney. Hey Barney, how's it going? All right, Dr. Dev. As a sleep doctor for over 20 years, one of the commonest questions I get is, my son or daughter will not go to sleep. And guess what? They're teenagers! I've got two teenagers myself and I know what it's like. But it's not all their fault. They have a biological clock that just goes crazy. Now, they have something called delayed sleep phase syndrome, where generally they tend to be night owls. In other words, it takes them harder to get to sleep on time, and guess what? Harder to get them out of bed on time to go to school. And that's why you as a parent, you're going crazy, won't get out of bed, missing school start. I know what it's like. Now, delayed sleep phase syndrome is very common in teenagers, and it's all to do with the melatonin secretion. And it so happens that these teenagers, their melatonin secretion tends to be a little bit more delayed. That's why they tend to not get to sleep until later. Now, if you ask your teenage son or daughter who's got the problem, what they're going to say? It's the parents. That's the parents got the problem. But, you know, at the end of the day, you're trying to get to work and your teenage son or daughter is not getting out of bed to drop them off at school. It is pretty crazy times. So how do we fix this? Well, clearly, if the teenager is not interested in getting to sleep on time, it's very hard to actually do that. You can't make them do that. They have to have insight into needing enough sleep. And for a 14, 15-year-old, they're going to need about 9 hours of sleep. So how do we fix the situation? Well, first of all, if your teenager has no insight into delayed sleep phase syndrome and being a night owl, then you're going to struggle as a teenager. You as a parent, you're not going to be able to get them into bed and get to sleep. You can take away the screens, and I think removing the screens or minimizing the screen usage at night time is hugely important, because light, or particularly the blue light part of the light, actually causes further delay in the melatonin secretion and therefore further delay in getting to sleep. So one tip is you can consider blue light blocking glasses, and they're available online and you can get them quite cheaply, and you ask your teenager to start wearing these from, say, about 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening. They will tell you that my iPhone has a blue light filter. Yeah, but the thing is, though, they've got the iPhone, they've got the iPad, they've got the PlayStation, they've got 3 screens, and it's almost like something out of NASA. So you're better off having the blue light blocking glasses so that panorama of blue light and white light is filtered. The second tip is really trying to get your teenager, trying to wind down and reduce that busy brain. And look, guess what? In COVID times, there's a lot of teenagers who are suffering from mental health, anxiety, depression, unfortunately. And they have this so-called hyperarousal state where, although they might want to try and get to sleep, their busy brain stops them from doing so. And I've had a lot of success in getting those teenagers to do relaxation techniques, to do something called progressive muscular relaxation, winding down, mindfulness, and all the good clinical psychology techniques and behavioral techniques that are around. Another tip into getting your teenager to sleep is actually maybe trying some melatonin. Now, melatonin is readily available and is prescribed by your GP. And melatonin, maybe 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, maybe a little bit more, taken around that bedtime, say about 10, 11 o'clock, just to try and advance that sleep phase and in order to facilitate getting to sleep. So melatonin is something that one might consider as well. Another tip that I've used in many individuals, particularly those with anxiety, particularly those with mental health issues or hyperarousal state, is CBD oil. Cannabidiol is called. Now, CBD oil allows that busy brain to wind down, reduce that cortisol level, helps with the anxiety. So if mental health and anxiety is part of the inability to get to sleep, then certainly get some advice about CBD oil from your doctor or someone who's got a specialist interest in sleep and cannabinoid therapy. So CBD oil might be another tip. So those are some of the basic tips for getting your teenager to sleep. At the end of the day, you can do your bit and do your best. The important thing as a parent is that don't stress about it. They're good kids. It's not their fault. They're not there to purposely annoy you, I think. But biologically, they're programmed to be that. And many of these teenagers will grow out of this. Some will still have problems as an adult, but you really got to understand that this is a physiological issue that they're dealing with, let alone all the hormones that's flying around. So I hope that's been helpful. So time to cut the BS, time to cut the crap. And I hope these tips have helped you to get your teenager to sleep on time and get to school on time. See you next time.